Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, or Hobbit's Reading List, and for this video we are going to figure out what I will be reading in the month of February. Obviously February has Valentine's Day, and that's really the only holiday or seasonal event I can think of that happens in February, so this month is going to be all about romance, or at least as many times as I can get romance on my TBR game. If this is your first TBR video of mine, I play a game called TBR Pursuit, which uses the Lord of the Rings Trivia Pursuit board. Each color represents a different genre of the 6 most popular genres on my physical shelves, which are romance, LGBT, psychology, Jewish, fantasy, and classic. I always stumble on at least one. I usually play 7 rounds, but I do have these purple roll again spots that adds a book to my TBR. And then I also have these bigger spots at the end of the spokes, which is Miscellaneous, because I do have other books on my shelves that do not fall in any of those 6 categories. But I'm looking forward to a month of romance, because they're usually like very easily ingestible. I would like to read a little bit more in February than I did in January, even though I read a decent amount, but I am listening to a very long audiobook, and so that's sort of cutting down how much I can finish. So I think romance will be a good route because it's very easy to read, it's very quick, and it's just fun. So let's see if I can actually get some romance books on my TBR game. Well, so that puts me in a miscellaneous spot. So I really just get a whatever direction. So I guess I'll just go for the one closest to the camera. Okay, my most recent purchase is really funny. My most recent purchase is a book I literally bought this morning because I stopped at the bookstore because I was going to buy some journals to try to actually get into a journaling habit, because I know how helpful it is, but I've always sucked at maintaining it, so I bought 3 to test out. And as I was checking out, I got into a conversation with the bookseller about why I was buying 3 and how my ADHD makes it hard for me to keep up with the habit. And then she told me about this book, which she referred to as her Bible. She has severe ADHD, and she said that it really helped to figure out ways to just like hack her brain. And it's called How to Keep House While Drowning. And she was sort of walking me through it. It really just breaks things down into like very accomplishable things, or how to change the way that you're thinking about it, specifically referring to like household stuff. But she also showed me there was a section about journaling, actually, which I thought was really funny, as well as like self-care. And so like part of it is like thinking the way that you are thinking. Recognizing that like this has to be done, but it doesn't have to be done to perfection. It can just be like, this is good enough. A lot of it sort of centers around the idea of like, this is good enough. You did a thing, and no, it is not perfect, it is not pristine, but you did a thing that will help you continue being in the space. So yeah, and it's fairly short, and I think it'll be really useful. I think it's just a thing where I can just read like a section a day, because it's not like they're 150 pages. Yeah, 151. So like that's not bad. So this was my most recent purchase. Okay, second book. Okay. I'm not really getting a lot of options here. I guess I'll go fantasy. My most anticipated fantasy. Perfect. This will not be a surprise to anyone who has been watching my vlogs lately, but my most anticipated fantasy, and yes, it is considered a fantasy on Storygraph, which is how I used to filter, I personally don't think I would qualify as fantasy, although I understand why. But Storygraph did, so I get I get to read the 4th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I'm so excited. The Dungeon Crawler Carl series is following Carl, who, after the world is sort of taken over by alien invaders, all of the human survivors are put into a game for the entertainment of the rest of the universe. And the humans just have to try to survive. It's sort of, I keep describing it as like a mixture of Hunger Games and D&D. Like, you smush those two things together. And the 4th book would put them on the... No, this is... What book is this? This is the 4th book. So they're on the 5th floor. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. It's a little wonky. But with Carl is his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, who is able to talk, and she is the best character in the book, although I am a big fan of Carl as well. And yeah, I don't want to say more because anything else will give a lot away, but it is definitely my most anticipated. Okay, let's get some actual choices. 2. Okay, so that's classic or fantasy again. I do have a classic that I need to read this month, so... The classic that I have to read this month will not fit in this prompt. I grabbed A Raisin in the Sun, which is a play by Lorraine Hansberry. Yeah. And I think that the back does a really good job of sort of summarizing it without kind of saying that much, but because I don't know anything about it, really, besides the fact that it is a classic. It is written by a BIPOC author. But it says, in her portrait of an embattled Chicago family, Hansberry anticipated issues that range from generational clashes to the civil rights and women's movements. She also posed the essential questions about identity, justice, and moral responsibility at the heart of these great struggles. The result is an American classic. My dad had recommended this to me maybe like a year ago, and I never got around to it, so I think it'd be really great to read. And it's a play, so like it shouldn't be super long. What might be fun is like reading this and trying to see if I can find a production of it. I do live in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago. I live near Chicago, but I could take advantage of that and probably find a production. 3. Okay, low numbers. So that is romance and miscellaneous. So I'm gonna go for romance. Oh, a booktuber recommendation. Okay, awesome. For a romance that was recommended by a booktuber, I didn't want to have to crawl through YouTube because I had a, like, flash of a thought. And it sounded good to me. So Gavin Reads It All uploaded a video today of him reading the entire Game Changer series. And because I'm a member, I watched it earlier in this week. But I don't remember if this was his, like, favorite book. I don't think it was. But I remember him really liking it. And the way that he was describing it made me very excited for it because I hadn't seen bad things about this book, but I hadn't seen, like, amazing things either. In fact, I think I'd seen a list of people saying that you could skip this one. But based off of what Gavin said, like, I wasn't going to skip it anyway, but, like, now I really don't want to skip it. He made me very excited about it. I'm very interested. So I'll be reading Tough Guy by Rachel Reid, which is the 3rd book in the Game Changer series, and it follows Ryan Price, who is an enforcer in the NHL, and he, based off what Gavin has said, he struggles with anxiety as well as some body issues related to spicy times. And he has had feelings for another man when he was younger. He lived with a family who took in, like, hockey players, and he got to know their son, and their son is not a hockey player, he's a musician. And they had a connection, and something seemed to have happened, but they end up reconnecting. And so this follows them. And just the way Gavin was talking about it, I'm like, that sounds so sweet. And so I'm really glad. I'm going to say that Gavin recommended it to me. 5. Okay, that's a higher roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's psychology. 2, 4, 5. That's psychology. 2, 3, 4, 5 is fantasy. Oh. I'm gonna go for fantasy. Even though I have so many nonfiction books I need to read. A TBR veteran, so it's been on my shelf for more than a year. The Man with the Golden Torc. I think it's Torc. It has to be Torc. That's... I don't know what else it would be. I have had this book. I think the latest I could have gotten this book was like 2012, 2013. So I've had this book for over a decade. At least. Like, I know that for sure. I've had it for over a decade. Because I picked this up at a Comic-Con. I don't think it was C2E2. It may have been. But, yeah, I picked this up at a Comic-Con, and I haven't been to a Comic-Con in a really long time. So, essentially, it follows this guy named Eddie. His family has been, like, in the background caring and protecting humanity. Caring for and protecting humanity. And against, you know, supernatural things that would cause humans harm. And then, for no reason, apparently, he is declared, like, a rogue by, like, the rest of the family. He's on the outs, and he has to go on the run and then try to stay alive and also prove his innocence. And so it sounds really interesting. I haven't read it, and I've had it for so long, and I'm very curious, and that is some very tight font. So I'll be excited to actually finally get to this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is romance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is LGBT. 2, 3, 4, 5 is Jewish. Let's go LGBT, because I also have a book this month I need to read that's queer. It's my smallest book. I don't think that'll work. My smallest LGBT book is actually one that is very recent. It's The Dogs of Venice. And it's only like 70 pages. Essentially, this guy named Paul had planned a romantic trip to Venice for him and his husband. And then before they're going to leave, his marriage suddenly ends. It unravels. And he ends up going to Venice by himself and seeing this, like, kind of scruffy dog. And he kind of sees him a couple times, and Paul just gets really interested, and he just starts, like, kind of following the dog and seeing where the dog, like, lives and how it survives, and he ends up running into people and meeting people, and it sort of, like, it seems like it just sort of changes his perspective. And I thought it sounded really cute. It's also very short, and I love Venice. So, yeah, like, and it just looks so cute. I love the art. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun. Okay, and for what may be my last roll, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like going back through the center. I know that you can for, like, Trivia Pursuit rules, but I don't like doing that, so miscellaneous it is. A Siri pick, which means I asked her to pick a number from my, like, list of books I haven't read yet. That'll be fun. Okay. So, according to Storygraph, I had 269 books on my physical shelves, or on my Kindle, or whatever. I own 269 books that I have not read. So I asked Siri to pick a number between 1 and 269. And she picked 228. Okay? That would have been a bitch to count. So, but luckily, if you're on your phone, Storygraph, it has infinite scroll, but it loads like every 10 books. And so I just had to do it that way. I'm so angry. Because I had mentioned, right, that I think maybe I mentioned it. Yeah, I had mentioned I'm listening to a very long audiobook. I'm listening to Count of Monte Cristo. Siri, the bitch, who just got activated because I said her name. She picked Les Mis. And look, I know that she didn't know. She didn't know what I was doing. She didn't know they would land on Les Mis. I'm still angry at her. This is, I believe, it's 1,200 pages, just like The Count of Monte Cristo. Wonderful. I'm so, like, I need to read it because I've had it for a really long time. Probably another decade. I know I need to read it. But is it just a year of like incredibly long audiobooks? Because I'm not reading this. I'm not physically reading this. My hand would fall. Actually, that's not that bad to hold. I don't know how it would feel to hold. Actually, the spine's already broken, so it probably wouldn't be that hard to like physically hold. It would just, I was really looking forward to having like a rock star February. And maybe I won't land on Les Mis. Knowing my luck, I will. So, for anyone who doesn't know, after my like freak out, Les Miserables, which I think is how it's pronounced, is following Jean Valjean. I'm doing all of the summary from my knowledge of the musical, as well as Gavin reads it all. Has recently read Les Mis. He read it like the end of December, I think. It follows Jean Valjean, who is imprisoned for a stupid crime. He stole bread. And when he gets out, he is essentially given a second chance, and he makes something of himself. And we get exposed to a bunch of different people all around the barricades and rebellion of the July Revolution, which is Napoleon. Yeah, because there's also something about the Battle of Waterloo in there as well. So I can probably do a better summary after I read the book, but I'm not happy right now. And the main reason I'm not happy, because like, it's 7 books, and yes, one of them is 1,200 pages long, but that's okay, right? Except I have 3 other books I need to read. Let me get them. So every month I have to read a Wodehouse book for the podcast I do with my dad, and this month is The Code of the Woosters, which is a Jeeves and Wooster novel. I don't know anything beyond that. I know that I love Jeeves and Wooster. It's actually very funny, which is refreshing because the last several Wodehouse books that we have read have been frustrating. So I am looking forward to that. It should be a good time. I also have to read the Safekeep for the book club meeting that I'm running in March. It follows Isabel. Isabel, it's 15 years after the Second World War, and she has fallen into a routine that she really likes. When all of a sudden her brother brings his girlfriend, whose name is Eva, yes, to stay with Isabel as a guest for the season. And the impact that has on Isabel's routines and just having Eva in her space, everything starts to change. And I know this is an LGBT story, so it's sapphic, I say. But yeah, I think it's gotten a lot of awards, and so it should be really good. So there's that. And also, because I listened to The Count of Monte Cristo last month, which I'm still not done with, it impacted how many books I had on my TBR and how many books I didn't read. I didn't read like, I think 4 or 5 books from my TBR last month, which means that I got a consequence book. And my dad was going to be nice to me and he was going to pick Heated Rivalry, but I pointed out that I would have already started it by the time I filmed my TBR. So instead, he picked Gadsby. Now, not to be confused with Gatsby, Gadsby is a novel written completely without the use of the letter E. The back literally says, while not a particular compelling story, the reference for this work of narrative art is not diminished. I love that it's on the back. That's part of the selling, like, the marketing points. It's like, it's not a great story, but it's written without using the letter E. Yeah, it's about this guy named Gadsby who is trying to help his town, like, go through a renaissance, kind of. He tries to enlist the town's youth. And that's about it. That's all it really says. It should be so interesting. Now, my main thing is I'm going to read it. I don't know if I believe that there are no E's in here. So that's going to be the main thing I pay attention to. But that's it. Those are my books. They're hefty, hefty, hefty books. So, I'm really not looking forward to Les Mis. Because I use a spinning wheel to determine what book from my TBR I'm going to read. I really hope it doesn't land on Les Mis. Anyway, leave me a comment if you have read any of these books, or send me encouragement to read Les Mis, and I'm sure I will like it. I like classics. I have no issue with that. It's just, I have a little bit of big book fear. And it's a big book. But leave me a comment with some encouragement, maybe. I would appreciate that. Like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload vlogs, so that you can see my thoughts on the books that I'm reading in mostly real time. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.